The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast. I'm J.R. Glymph, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glymph. What's good, Cuzzo?
Yo, what's going on, my man? Can't call it.
Hey, man. I'm good, man. It's brought to you, as always, by the Defy Life Podcast Network. We are rolling too deep again. Thomas Stevens is not with us. Not in that aspect. He's still with us, but he ain't with us. But he's out doing stuff with his family. So shout out to you, Thomas.
Shout out to Pooh being a good dad.
No doubt. Yeah, man. But it'll so like when it's this kind of work, man, it's all Glymph everything. So
do what you do. All
G Day. No doubt. What's good though?
Man, not bad, man. Weather's good. Weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, just spent some time at the soccer field. One of my nephews had a soccer game, so was checking that out.
Okay.
So beautiful day. Actually did some yard work, cut the grass. So everything being everything, just Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, got up early, washed my car. Well, I bought my son a car. And yeah.
Okay.
So yesterday when he got home from school, when I went to wash my truck and took him with me and make sure that he knew what he was doing. So then
Teach him right.
Right. So then this morning I got up early and washed the other car, so my wife's car and stuff. So it was good, man. Then ain't done nothing on the rest of the day. Cars wore me out. But I'm good. But yeah, man, today we're gonna get into a little bit of draft talk as usual. Got a resident Cowboys fan on, so we're gonna get into some Cowboys draft needs and fits.
Let's go.
And we'll also talk some cornerbacks, talk some guys you like and some guys you don't like. So your guys and your not so guys. Then we'll talk a little bit about Tom Brady's attempt to, I guess, stay relevant. Say he'd be interested in making a comeback. So yeah, let's jump right into it, man. Cowboys in the draft. I think the first round, the Cowboys are picking 24th. And of course, and the Cowboys are a little light on draft capital this year. But what would you identify as the Cowboys at this point? I mean, they didn't really do a whole lot in free agency, so not much has changed. But what would you identify as Cowboys' major needs in the draft?
Well, I think you touched on one, which is I think linebacker, cornerback are things that you'll see us pick up some talent in the draft, but I wouldn't expect us to go there early. I would expect us to go offensive line early, and particularly if we can get a tackle or guard that's top 2 or 3 in the draft. You know what I mean? Like the number 2 or 3 tackle, the number 2 or 3 guard. You might see us snatch one of them up at 24. If we don't get one of those, I wouldn't be surprised if we trade down and get a pick. Because to your point, we are low on draft capital, and I might see them trade down to try to acquire another pick.
Okay. How far? I mean, I know this is a deep tackle class, and a deep center class. How far would you be looking? Would you trade out of the first round and still hope to pick up? Or of course, it takes a partner.
Right. I think I would try to stay in the first round, but I would also be looking to, if I'm gonna get a second or third round pick, probably third, more like third or fourth round pick, by trading down and staying in the first, then I might be looking at trying to get the best center. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I would look to do if because we got to replace our center as well.
Yeah.
Tyler
Biadasz.
Biadasz, he left.
With
But we got
Washington.
he went to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some young offensive linemen, Brock Hoffman, Tyler Bass, who got some opportunity to play this past season. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they bet on at least one of them being a starter this year.
Okay. So what do you suggest they do with Tyler Smith? You think they leave him at left guard, move him out to left tackle? I know he stated that he's come more comfortable at guard, but he's willing to do whatever the team asks.
And he's been really good at whatever the team asks.
Right.
And so I appreciate his willingness to be flexible because he has shown that he's a really good tackle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would honestly, I think the Cowboys are playing it smart by waiting to see what they can get in this draft. And so I know you like the guy out of the tackle out of Georgia.
Yeah, Amarius Mims. Yeah.
Amarius Mims, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if one of those tackles, there's about 2 or 3 of that quality, really, really good tackle. If one of those 3 guys fell to 24, I would draft them and then say, Tyler Smith, stay there at guard. We got our tackle and keep it moving.
Okay. Yeah. And at this point, if a guy like Graham Barton from Duke, if he falls, with his versatility, you can see if he sticks as a tackle
or guard.
Or guard.
Right.
Or if the centers don't work out, he can play center too. So
I really like him, particularly because Zach Martin is maybe 2-3 years away from max, right? Max. This is how long he's going to be on our team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if they had an opportunity to pick a flexible guy like Barton for the future.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. A guy who can play all 5 positions. The more you can do.
It only helps. It only helps. And so I would expect in the first, if I was betting, I would say in the first 2 picks, one of those drafts, first or second round, we're going to pick an offensive lineman.
Okay. So you mentioned cornerback. Because a lot of that it might be a head scratcher to a lot of people who are not, don't pay a lot of attention to the Cowboys because, you figure you already got Trevon Diggs, although he's coming back from injury, and you got Deron Bland, who just had like 800 pick sixes this year. And I see it a lot, as cornerback as being a need. So why is cornerback a need for Dallas?
Because you can't have too many really good corners. Gotcha. As you see with Diggs, any of them can get hurt, and now you're short, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, unless it was a top of the game cornerback who slipped to us, I would be shocked if they pick one in the first 2 rounds, right? Because we have Diggs, we have Bland, we have the veteran out of Michigan. I'm blocking on his name right now.
Oh shoot.
I'm blocking on his name, right? Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
Right. So you got 3 really good cornerbacks who, if healthy, a rookie's not gonna get a lot of burns. Right. I wouldn't spend high draft capital this season on a cornerback. Okay. I'd be shocked if they did that. Unless it was a really, really good guy like Kool-Aid or tearing on, like that ain't gonna happen. But it's like CD Lamb, right? CD Lamb slipped to us. Oh, you got to take a wide receiver because that wide receiver is available to us. So if that cornerback is available, you draft them. Otherwise, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to cornerbacks in a little bit of the guys you like and vice versa. So speaking of CD Lamb, would a high pick at wide receiver shock you at all?
Again, if the wide receiver class this year is high quality, particularly up high, if one of them slips, I wouldn't mind. Like when I say one of them, I'm talking Romeo, the Aduzier. I'm talking a neighbor, the guy at LSU. If but
Either
they
guy
not
at
falling.
LSU.
But they not falling it.
Right. Oh yeah. So would you be opposed to the other LSU like Brian Thomas Jr. or was it AD Mitchell, anybody like that?
I would maybe trade back for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they end up on the Cowboy roster because I think they're high quality. But when I'm looking at our offensive line, I guess to me it's going to be best player available when you look at certain positions.
Right.
Offensive line is high priority. Linebacker is high priority. Wide receiver priority, but not high priority. Right. And so is cornerback, right? So, but I got to get me at least one really good offensive lineman out of this draft, at least one. And that's would be something I focus on.
Yeah, and this is a good draft to need corners, offensive linemen, and wideouts.
Yep, and we got that.
Yeah, it's not so good of a draft to need linebackers. So, and especially, you're right with the Leighton Vander Esch retirement, and so there is a need there. So, what are two questions? One, there's a lot of, well, I ain't say a lot of talk, but I've heard the idea of switching Micah Parsons back to off ball linebacker. Especially as he started, in the last few seasons, he started to wear down late in seasons as a pass rusher. So what are your thoughts on that? And then who would you, if you leave him at edge rusher, who are some guys who fit what Dallas does coming out this year?
For me, I like the idea of being very flexible with Micah Parsons, and using him on the line when I thinking it's a pass, and I'm using him strictly as a pass rusher. On other plays, I think I would move him off ball to reduce some of the wear and tear off of him, as well as keep it kind of mysterious in terms of kind of find Waldo, find Micah. You don't know where Micah lining up. On every play. And so that's how I would approach it if I was their defense, because he's pretty good at wherever you put him. He can even, handle going out for a pass as a linebacker. So I've seen him do that really well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And one of the more versatile guys in the league. And I think, that gives you an opportunity too to, like you said, just kind of whatever you get in the draft, just kind of play off of that.
And there's some good linebackers. Edgerrin Cooper is one that I like. And Cedric Gray is one that I like. And I'm blocking on the brother's name, but he plays at Michigan.
Junior.
Yes, him.
Yeah. Junior Corin. Yeah.
I would like one of them to be added to my roster this year too.
Yeah, those are all good names. It's not a top-heavy linebacker class, but some guys that are very intriguing.
And so one of them drafts that, to your point, it's going to take a couple of years for us really to see what 3 or 4 linebackers in this draft, because I think there are going to be 3 or 4 linebackers in this draft that people will remember as, okay, they're good rotational players in our league right now. And I know Dallas could use that player. We got Kendricks that came in as a veteran. I'm happy about that. Damon Clark, I think, is developing. I like that. Brother got hurt. I think his last name is Overshawn.
DeMarvin Overshawn. Yeah.
DeMarvin Overshawn was making plays in the preseason, just got hurt. So hopefully he comes back healthy. And if that happens, that's 3 really good linebackers.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So we'll see.
And young.
So, and young, except for Kendricks.
But Kendricks is old. Need a veteran presence.
Right. But he's still making plays in the league. And so I would, if those 3 players were to stay healthy all season, I think that would cover us.
Yeah. Ooh. That's what could have been with Leighton Vander Esch, man, because he was a heck of a player and a heck of a prospect
Uh-huh.
coming out. But good thing for him that he got to play this long with those neck injuries, man.
Yeah. Definitely one of them players who gave it his all,
Yeah.
who played the game the right way and was a much better athlete than people,
Oh yeah,
when you look at him, but he was like above average athlete.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So talking about cornerback, so who give me some guys who are whether they're first rounders or late round picks. Who are some guys that you consider your guys? Some guys you like in this draft at corner?
I mean, the linebackers coming out of Alabama particularly have caught my interest.
Mm,
And maybe it's because, you know, you always fantasize about these pair cornerback
mm,
duos that can really lock down on offense. And coming out of the SEC, they've played some really, really good competition. And so just the way they've played off each other definitely have become two of my favorite prospects, just getting enough opportunity to see them play in their career.
yeah, so I like Terrion and Kool-Aid a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Um, I guess it's always the concern with Alabama corners is have they maxed out because they're coached so well at
Right.
Alabama with Nick Saban, when he was there. But can't deny the results. So yeah,
No, not at all, because um, what you know is that they're getting good reps in practice and getting good reps on most games. And so if they do well in
yeah,
in those situations, that says a lot, at least in terms of
yeah.
some of the preparation they've received.
All right. Any others that you had a draft crush on? The other corner?
Um, he Max
Melton.
Melton.
Oh yeah, that's one of my
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Max Melton is he's a feisty dude. I like
I
Max
think that's
Melton a
what
lot.
it is. It's his
Yeah,
spirit that I like
yeah,
about how he
yeah.
plays the game.
Absolutely. Any guys that you just like? Nah, that's not my guy.
You know,
Any of those?
I can't say I got any of those
Yeah.
that I feel like are overrated or please don't send them to me. Not
Mm,
can't say I got any cornerback like that.
okay. Yeah, Max Melton's definitely one of my guys. Mike Sainristil from Michigan, the slot
Mm,
corner.
right.
Um, like him. Cam Hart from Notre Dame is one of my guys. I mean, I like all the first round. I'm not as high on Nate Wiggins as a lot of people are. Um,
He's
it's
out.
just
Was he out of
it's
Clemson?
Clemson, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't
That's
dislike him.
Thomas loves him.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, kid love if you played hopscotch, you love. But I don't. I like my corners to be more than 175 pounds. Man, it's tough.
Size makes a difference.
Yeah, and he's. I mean, he's an amazing athlete, but to be that light and to have short arms as a corner is not a good
Mm,
combination.
mm.
So um, I won't say it's anybody I absolutely don't like, but yeah, of the top corners, he's probably the one I'm least high on
And he
compared
might
to
go
other
first
people.
round.
Oh yeah, absolutely, he
Hmm.
could. Yeah, so we'll see. Um, and I mean, if it falls out the right way or that way, he could go first round to Pittsburgh. So then I have to deal with it.
Mm.
So yeah.
And
So
y'all can use a corner, but I like it. I like the one y'all drafted recently, Joey.
oh yeah, well yeah. I mean,
Mm.
I love Joey, but it kind of alleviated the need a little bit trading for Dante Jackson from Carolina. So at
Mm-hmm.
least we got a baseline starter there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Crazy things happen in the draft, man.
Yeah. I mean, and when it comes to the Cowboys, again, we got some players already ahead. So I can't
Mm,
say I've been spending a lot of time really looking at looking at cornerback because I don't really
right.
expect us to draft one until much, much later in the draft. If unless there's a stud standing at you.
Right.
But
So
we
what do
need
you
running backs. I got to get me a running back too. Like that's something that let's say just say third round, fourth round is where I would expect you to see the Cowboys draft a running back because we light right there right now.
Yeah, and like late second, early thirds, I expect there to be a run on running backs. So
and
who's y'all's running back depth chart?
Oh, what's our chart? Rico Dowdle.
Okay, Gamecock.
Rico Dowdle.
Deuce.
Deuce Vaughn.
Okay.
And then brother out of I think Florida, Malik Davis.
Okay.
That's about it.
So yeah, y'all need running back.
We need running back.
Yeah.
Especially if we can get me like in the second or third round. A really good one.
Yeah.
Like
who's your guy running back?
Jonathan Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks. Okay.
I like his game.
I
really do. And so, I want a dude. I'm really he ain't got the I look at the Jets, I'm a Jet fan too. And I've been so excited to see how Breece Hall has developed as a running back. I didn't know he was that guy, but I'm like, oh wow. He's that guy.
He's the truth.
He's the truth. Oh, I'm so glad he's on my team. Yeah. That's what I want this year on the Cowboys. I need that guy. Tony Pollard was, he was okay. And but I was a big Zeke dude. I liked having a running back, and we need a running back.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Last question on cornerbacks. What do you think? Do you think Cooper DeJean is a corner or safety?
I think ultimately he's going to go safety.
Okay.
Right. But I say he also has the ability to be one of them safety that can also cover in the slot.
Like a chess piece.
Yeah. And so, I think those types of players are very valuable in the league if they're in the hands of a really creative defensive coordinator. And when you have those types of players, it makes it really hard to defend a good defense when you have to find a player that you're trying to strategize against every play, right? And so if you don't know where that player is going to be, it's kind of hard to strategize against him because it's like, where's Minka this play? He's over there now. Damn, I thought he was going to be over there. And so, I would keep him as a chess piece type player.
Okay. Yeah, he performed really well at his pro day. So showed the athleticism needed to to stick at corner and, like you said, be a chess piece, move him around. And heck of a punt returner too. So you're getting a lot of things with him.
Very, very valuable. Are you hoping your Steelers snatch him up or something like that? Is that why you throw his name into the conversation?
No, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, like I said, corners on it's a possibility for the Steelers, but I preferably would want to go offensive line.
Yeah, I got you.
We got the richest defense in the league, man, and the youngest offense in the league. So, paying all that money, and we about to, we got like 7 first-round picks on defense. So I wouldn't be mad at Cooper DeJean or any corner.
Yeah.
But I'd rather offensive.
The other running back that I like is, I like Michigan.
Mike Corum.
Yeah, but he's a little kind of short.
Blake Corum, I'm sorry.
Blake Corum, a little kind of small.
Yeah.
But I do like the way he runs. The one that I really like as my number 2, if it wasn't Jonathan Brooks who came to the Cowboys, I like Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin.
I like Braylon Allen.
Yeah, I like Braylon Allen as my number 2 hope who lands on the Cowboys.
Yeah, if it was If it was 2007, Braylon Allen would be a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for several reasons. One, just how he runs, but two, Wisconsin was just running the ball 40 times a game. They weren't throwing it around all around the park. So
Not your daddy's
it
Wisconsin.
is not your daddy's Badgers. Yeah.
We're gonna change it up.
Yeah.
But I also like the running back out of Notre Dame.
Arch Estime.
Yeah, Estime. Him.
Yeah.
I like him too.
Like him too.
The way he runs.
Yeah, like him. It's a lot of guys. Like I said, it's gonna be bunched right there. You're gonna see a run on running backs. I think once one team takes one, everybody else is gonna be like, okay,
I gotta get mine.
Starting to get mine.
Yeah.
I like. Yes, a lot of guys are liking the draft.
Do you like Frank Gore Jr.?
I do.
Okay.
But I don't think he'll be drafted very high.
Yeah.
It's tough to be small and slow. A guy like Isaac Guerendo from Louisville, former Wisconsin running back. I think he's a sleeper. He big, fast, but he just doesn't play up to his size and power all the time.
Yeah.
But my guy in this draft at running back is Tyrone Tracy Jr. Former wide receiver from Purdue. He's a former wide receiver. He's a 5-star receiver recruit, and they moved him to running back. So not a lot of experience, and you can tell that in his running, but you can also tell he's a receiver,
right?
By how creative he is as a runner. But yeah,
what's his size? Like how does he have decent size?
Yeah, I was 6'1", like 210.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah,
that's real decent.
Right. But I like him a lot. And in a class like this, where there's no Adrian Peterson or Ezekiel Elliott, it's kind of this draft at running back is kind of a choose your flavor, and so whatever fits your preference. But it's a lot to like out there. It's kind of like the linebacker class. You can get a really good player in the second, third round, and later, because teams are not going to draft them by.
Yeah, I think Breece Hall was like a 3rd round pick. So it's like when you are able to get a quality running back, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, like as you're building a roster, that definitely helps.
Right. Yeah, man. So, and you got to have one. I mean, everybody's saying they're devalued in the draft, devalued in free agency, unless you Saquon. Yeah. but you got to have a good one or a good room, a good running back room.
And to me, a good running back room usually means you got at least one really, really good guy.
Right.
And I mean, I like the rotation side of it. And that to me, when I look at the Cowboys, if we were able to get a really that guy and have Dowdle and Malik, and now we got a good room.
Yeah.
But I like Dowdle. He's solid.
Yeah, I like that.
Really solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh.
Good 2-back.
Right. Key. Yeah. Good number 2. Right. So the GOAT, Tom Brady himself, has kind of thrown it out there that he's open to making a comeback. 2 questions. One, do you think he's just blowing smoke trying to stay relevant? And if he's serious, will anybody call
him? Well, I think he's serious. Just because, one, Tom Brady never really seemed like the stay relevant type.
Right.
2, I'd imagine most top athletes have an itch, right? Like after a year goes by, it's like, oh, I kind of missed this game, man. Right. So I could, I'm not surprised. Who calls him? that would surprise me.
Yeah.
Like when if you scan the league, especially at this point, maybe if somebody got hurt,
all right.
maybe, I might call him in the middle of the season, like, hey, like kind of how Joe Flacco got into the Brown situation this season.
Yeah, right.
I could see that.
Yeah. Like the only team I could possibly at this point think about, maybe, if so, maybe so, the Raiders. I mean, he's got his ties with the Raiders now, getting into ownership, and well, they got Aiden O'Connell and it's Gardner Minshew.
That's not a bad look.
Only thing is, they're not a championship caliber team. So would he be willing
Would
to?
they be with Tom Brady and Devontae Adams? Is Josh Jacobs still there?
No.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah, no Josh Jacobs. Like, would Tom Brady turn them into a contender?
I mean, not a contender, but I guess if I'm Tom Brady, I was just playing with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So
yeah, but you want a Super Bowl? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, could he do the same thing there in turn? Like, well, one, not could he, but would he be willing to go to the Raiders knowing I ain't really got a shot at the Super Bowl?
I don't think Tom Brady would. I think he looks at that roster and says,
I can do something with this.
I got a shot.
Okay.
Like, maybe you look at the Raiders. I mean, with the Raiders roster as it's constructed and a quality quarterback, I would say they're in the playoffs.
Right.
Now, can they march all the way to the Super Bowl? But I would put them in the playoffs though.
Right. Okay.
With that roster.
Well, shout out to you, Tom.
Now I don't want to see him back.
I don't want to see him back, but any player who wants to keep playing, I always say, hey, go do it, because you only,
Me too.
It ain't like you can come back at 60.
Mm-mm.
So
he like, can I get one more year?
All right.
And he didn't go out looking bad. Like that's the part that I could see an athlete like that getting the itch because he's saying, damn, did I leave too early?
Right. And I mean, he's Tom Brady. It's not like he's going to have a major learning curve. He's seen it all.
Jump right in.
Yeah. So I don't know. And yeah, I'm joking. Tom Brady will always be relevant.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we that's all we got. Really, in and out really quick today. Last thing, man, you got any parting shots for the people?
Nah, nothing. I don't have anything to add this week, man. Just stay up, stay healthy, and enjoy. Hopefully you got some good weather, and shout out to all those on the J. Cole side of the beef.
Oh man. See, I wasn't gonna talk about it on air, but
I don't need to talk about it. I'm just shouting out to all those on my side. You ain't gotta talk about it. Just shout out to all those who rocking with J. Cole. That's all.
All right. Well, since you went on last week, quick question.
Yes, sir.
What were your thoughts on the women's national championship?
Ooh, thank you for letting me say my piece.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dawn Staley for and the Gamecocks for winning a great game, back and forth. They started out slow, so it was a great game. It was a great tournament. Big up to Caitlin Clark, like an amazing player who, like, what I love most about her game is that she always show up. Like, I love those types of players who, in the toughest of the tough, they there. I love that. And you know what? I was talking to somebody about Dawn's career. Man, when you think about what Dawn Staley has accomplished, she might go down as one of having the most amazing, successful, athletic careers of any athlete. Because when you think about that, she was an amazing college player. She won as a professional player. She's in the Olympics. She's also coached, won multiple championships, and might go down as one of the best coaches ever.
And she was on the episode of Martin.
And she was on the episode of Martin.
Can't beat that.
Shout out to Dawn Taylor. But all in all, man, I thought it was a great tournament. And for all those who just catching up to appreciate women's basketball, I'm a not say I told you so, just welcome. Just say welcome.
You know who's not catching up and refuses to?
Who's that?
Kia.
Who?
Caveman Kia.
Caveman Kia.
He still refuses to But
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Me and Pooh talked about him last week. He still ain't feeling it.
Well, we ain't converted everybody, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
But welcome to all those who appreciate this amazing game, because what college basketball has, women's college basketball compared to men's, is they have a plethora of stars. Oh, yeah. And in the men's college basketball, because those stars leave so early, you don't get to see this bubbling of stars like we have in women's college basketball. Some are leaving, but there's multiple freshman stars that are about to take over the game.
Yeah, that was my point last week talking to Pooh, is you don't get an attachment to the men's game anymore because, unless you root for the jersey, which a lot of people do. Right. But, you don't see rivalries built anymore, development of players and it's weird now in men's basketball that the player of the year may not be a lottery pick. And last year, the Naismith player of the year was undrafted. So, 2 years ago, he was undrafted. And so the guy who's the Naismith player of the year the last 2 years, Zach Edey, may not even be a lottery pick. So
what does that say?
It's just right because and it hurts public perception because what do we think? Oh, this guy stayed all 4 years. He must be trash. He couldn't even make it to the NBA after his freshman year. So I appreciate the women's game for that. You get to see these rivalries and these bubbling stars, like you said. You get to see players develop. I get to see coaches like Dawn build programs. It's fun to watch, man.
Because when she first gets to South Carolina, they're nobody. They're not winning. There's no one coming to the games.
No.
And for her to develop this product through, and shout out to Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
Because I can remember us talking about her on the Defy Life. I can't remember who. I don't know if it was Pooh. What was the brother that was the basketball coach? That was Yosh. Would bring her up in her magnificence.
Yeah.
Way back then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Shout out to Yosh. But shout out to Dansdale again. I'm just a big fan. And so that's what I was rooting for and have been a Gamecocks fan because I've been a Dawn Staley fan and just continue to follow her career and watch her excel at what she does and does it the right way. Like that to me is when you listen to her as she does her interviews, when you listen to her on the press conferences, as well as when I see her on the court, me being a coach, watching a coach, I'm just like, yo, you are the bar. Yeah. Like that's what I'm trying to aspire to be, is be as good as a coach as Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Three rings and counting.
Yes, and counting. Get ready.
Yeah. That train ain't slowing down.
Nah, because even on that squad in that game, you saw some of her freshmen show up and like lead the team to victory.
Right. Yeah. And they got another, 3 top recruits coming in next year. So, but like she says, if you looking to win Player of the Year, don't come here. If you
Right.
want to win national championships,
Come to me.
we're gonna do that.
Come to me.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, so I was following it from the beginning in terms of this tournament and multiple really good games. Got to watch a couple with my daughter. And so yeah, looking forward to and wife because Gina even, got a little interested this
Okay.
tournament season. And I think so
Right.
that shout out to Caitlin Clark. Like again,
Right.
because what she has done is brought in some of the more casual fans to wonder what's this Caitlin Clark all about? And
Right.
watching the game, in the process of watching the game, appreciating it for its excellence.
Yeah. Do you think her? I won't say she got exposed in the national championship, but her limitations kind of were shown as far as ball handling, um,
Yeah.
getting back on defense effort a lot of times, but because she's such a they ask so much of her in the offensive
Mm-hmm.
end. That's just how that team is built. But she got a little lazy with her ball handling. Raven Johnson, put the clamps on her in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
instances. Do you think that poses some concern on the next level?
I think it's going to force her to continue to evolve and get better.
Mm,
And I think it also suggests that she's going to need to have good players around her in
right.
the league, right? But
Yeah.
that she can still be an excellent player. Like a woman that I think of in the NBA right now is Sabrina Ionescu,
Mm,
and she plays for the Liberty, which is
right.
a New York team. So I'm watching
Right.
just because they're from New York. Got me a got me a chance to watch her game, and I've known her from college. Can't say I watched a lot of her in college, but my point is there are games where she is physically dominated into where if you get a taller, quicker guard on her, they
Mm,
can give her problems. The aces
right.
tend to have that type of player and will give her problems. But
Right.
with the player that they got, Brianna Stewart, who's one of the
Yeah.
best in the league, it
Right.
allows her to give some of that responsibility
Right.
to the other player, and
Yeah.
she still is now you can see how great of a player Sabrina Ionescu is. My point is
Right.
Caitlin Clark might need to have that type of player along with her
Right.
to take some of the pressure, defensive pressure off of her.
Yeah. Yeah. And which might work out just that way if she's the first overall pick because she's end up playing with Leah Boston. So,
Hello. So
um,
I've already
yeah,
said, watch out for the Indiana squad.
yeah,
Give them 3 years.
all
Like
right,
give them some time, right? That's what
yeah,
I
all
with the
right,
young players. I'm always give them some time, let them develop.
yeah.
But by the time 2 or 3 years come around, watch
Yep,
out.
yeah,
I think
it's
they're gonna
gonna
be
be
pretty
tough.
good
Yeah, absolutely.
because her shooting range
Yeah, it's gonna open up so much.
or shooting range is crazy.
Yeah,
So here, I want to get your thoughts on this. So I
mm,
was reading Lynette Woodard, I think her name
mm,
is.
yeah,
Okay. Who is an amazing player from the 80s,
mm,
who's one of the women that Caitlin Clark broke her record,
yeah,
right? Lynette's like, no disrespect to Caitlin,
mm,
but one, I shot with a men's basketball.
right. Which I didn't know.
Two, I didn't know that either.
Right.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Two, I didn't have 3-point shots.
Right.
So I'm just saying what I did is not what she did. And what she did is not what I did. That's kind of what her
Mm,
point was. And I was just
yeah.
like, huh, I ain't know all of that. There's something to think about.
It is something to think about, which is why I've grown to hate comparing eras.
Me too.
Um, because
Me too.
I
It's
get Lynette
pointless.
Woodard's right. I get Lynette Woodard's point because she's right. I mean, there was no three
Mhm.
point line. She played with it, but that's for one. That's not Caitlin Clark's fault.
No, not at all. There's no
Two,
disrespect to Caitlin.
right. But on the other hand, Caitlin Clark could say, "Yeah, but you didn't play against the talent pool that I'm playing against."
Amen.
Um,
Amen. Good point.
so they're not as deep of a talent pool.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely, I think as good as South Carolina is right now, I don't think we'll ever see the days where the dominance of a Louisiana Tech program, or Tennessee, or UConn. I don't think we'll ever see that again because the talent pool is so deep, man.
Eh,
And then that
Except
would have,
when you see South Carolina
yeah,
dominating in this era, and
right,
I agree, the talent pool is
yeah,
way better than
yeah,
40 years ago.
yeah.
That being said, my girl, my woman, my coach, because I don't want to offend
All
nobody,
right.
Dawn Staley,
I hope she does. You know I do.
is getting it.
Right. She is, man. And to the point where, I don't even know how to feel about this, but to the point where somebody was like, Coach Cal left Kentucky when they called up Dawn Staley.
Mm, Please don't go.
Right.
Please don't go.
But it's good to see that she's making such an impact
Mm,
that people are like, gender, what does that matter?
right.
If she can coach, she can coach.
And
So
I appreciate your point as
mm,
well. The other point that I've heard people mention in this era of why should she have to go to the men's league to prove
that's why I
herself?
said I don't know why
Right?
I
Right.
how
For
to
what?
feel about it. Right.
What? I
Um,
need to go to
yeah,
like I could coach you. No disrespect. But I'm dominating here.
exactly. And it's good to dominate. Like
Mhm.
it's not a different level that I'm moving to. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct. Which
so
I honestly 10 years ago, I might have looked at it as a different level. Like just I appreciate
yeah,
that. I thought
right.
I'm like, oh, you're right. It ain't no different level.
Right.
Right. Do your
Yeah.
thing, Dawn. Where you at?
Yeah.
Which is the word that it was the Caitlin Clark being offered $5 million to come play with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That I heard someone express that opinion. Like,
Mm,
why would she go there? For what?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not proving nothing by playing with some men on a 3-3. Like,
Right. And
it's no step up. Who said that?
right. And like I think, although it's basketball,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't, I, they're different sports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, I wish people could understand that you're watching two different sports. Stop comparing the two.
Correct.
Stop trying to cross them over and make women prove something by playing with like nah, like come on, man. Like we still doing this. Like,
Apparently we are.
yeah. So, go let her and then really like 5 mil to go play in the big three. I get it. You know, it's a business. But Kaylin Clark ain't hurting for money, man.
Right.
Not these days. Like so,
Not these days.
yeah. So
If she is, somebody not looking at the Caitlin Clark because she made people so much money this year.
right.
I hope she
Yeah.
did cash in some of that money because they
Yeah.
made a lot of money off of her. I tell you
Yeah.
that.
And they did. And I mean, I also on a Gatorade commercial, a couple other like she ain't hurt.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So
So
yeah.
that's why I'm I appreciate that the WNBA season starts in a month,
Right.
right? So
And
it
the
ain't
draft is next week. Like it's
it's like let's keep it going. Let's
yeah.
see how you look in the pros
Right.
right now. We ain't gotta wait no off
Exactly.
season.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. We get
Yeah.
to see what she looks like right now,
Exactly.
and I'm
Man.
sure the veterans are gonna.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you got,
Right.
rookie. Let's see
All
what you
right.
got.
I mean, as much as it's not feasible, and I ain't comparing the two, but damn, if the NFL draft was like 2 weeks after college football season, yo, I'll be in heaven. I can't
Yeah.
imagine how like lit that would be to be like right after the national championship, we having a draft. Like,
And it's interesting because it's like their approach is you just watch them the whole season. What else you
right?
need to see?
Yeah, right.
We just seen a whole tournament full of them playing. Let's
All
go.
right,
Let's
let's
keep
get
it
it.
moving.
All right,
Draft. Let's go next. Well,
yeah,
you know all of that combine workout,
all
pro
right.
days. No,
Mm.
no, 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 no. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. But But yeah, man. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been a good one. Shout out to you, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all know y'all can find us, man. Please, you know, follow us, comment, share, like on YouTube. You can follow us and comment. Find us on all the favorite platforms for the audio content for those of you who aren't watching us. And but yeah, check us out at defylife.co. We can check out all the shows on the network. Al Show, Aftergate, Take a Knee for Marvel versus DC, um, Crossroads, Mike Minister Hour, all those, man. Check out the network. And also check out the merch at defylifegear.com. We'll see y'all next week, man. Next week will be the big mock draft episode. Can't
Hey,
wait to do it. It's always fun to do. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Until then, Defy Life.
my life.
Peace.